What up? It's your boy Wall Street, and I'm back. Thank you very much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Guys, if you're not subscribed, I would greatly appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. I would also really appreciate you hitting that like button. I'm trying to grow the channel, trying to reach more people, trying to help more people, and just connect, man. So if you could do that for me, that would be great. Love you all, but let's dive into it. I wanted to talk about a very specific topic today, and it's centered around a question, and that question is, why do I feel insecure, right? And I'm using that, as a figurative statement. I'm not saying I am insecure. I'm saying, let's talk about why you may feel insecure, right? And let's go to why I feel insecure sometimes, right? Sometimes I feel insecure because I see other people in the real world or on the internet that have things that I don't, right? And that's not always material items. It's, levels of their career that they've attained that I have not. It's, relationships that they have made that I have not. And there's also material things that they have that I don't, right? Like, I'd love to have a big, nice house one day that I can have my whole family come over and hang out in. But let's dive into it, right? Why do we feel this way sometimes? Why do we feel insecure? And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we have turned into a world of people, especially in America, where we are constantly comparing ourselves to others. And we constantly use other people in those comparisons as like a marker as to where we need to be, right? And that's just fundamentally incorrect. Like, we should not be using that thought process to evaluate how we feel about ourselves, right? Just point blank simple. That's just what it is, okay? And I think a lot of us do this mainly because of, social media is a big part of it, but I also think we just have a culture nowadays where a lot of people are very showy, right? Like, the first thing that a lot of people do when they, come into some money is they, buy a watch, or they buy a nice car, or, they go out to a nice dinner and post about it on Instagram. Meanwhile, they're not paying their rent on time, or, they're not paying their mortgage, whatever, right? It's become such an interesting thing to me that people would rather, assert themselves over other people than actually, feel secure, financially, right? And that's the thing that happens all the time. It's just people want to stunt on people. And that's why I think a lot of people feel insecure, because a lot of people, if you are, a person that has, a good head on their shoulders, you would think, like, if someone's going out there and buying, a Rolex or an AP or a Lamborghini, like, you would imagine, like, they probably have their life in order. That's not always the case, right? And this social media, plays this trick on people all the time, because you see people, driving around a Lambo, picking up girls, or, he's got, wads of cash with him, doing stuff. He's got a bunch of diamonds on, And at the end of the day, like, you don't know if that Lamborghini might be rented, right? He might have rented that for the day to shoot a YouTube video, or, get a 30-second clip for Instagram. You have no idea, right? And more often than not, that's what's going on, right? So before you start looking at what someone has and assuming, oh, they have their life all in order, it's not always, it's not always that. They might just be doing this to make other people think what you're thinking right now. Like, oh, wow, this guy's really got his stuff together. Nah. Like, it's just nah, bro. Like, he does not have it together. So I think, a way to kind of solve this is, first of all, control what you're looking at on social media, or just, take a break from social media in general, right? Or if you're not going to take a break from social media, focus on more educational stuff. Focus on more stuff that's, what's the word? I'm looking for the word. That's more down to earth. Stuff that's more educational, conceptual, not just like random BS, like watching guys, stunt on people, or watching a vlog of like a famous person, this, that, whatever, right? That stuff can be good to watch, and it's sometimes, might not necessarily make you feel insecure. But if you're the person that's used to comparing yourself to other people all the time, you got to figure out that that mindset. You got to figure out how to get out of that mindset and develop a new one. So something that I try to do is I'm just thinking about what I'm doing every day to, promote myself and, boost myself and make myself the person that I want to be. A lot of people aren't like that. A lot of people don't go into each day with a set of goals in mind, right? In order to really combat the sense of insecurity, you have to figure out your goals and stick to them, right? And if you want to change course, that's fine, but understand, like, when you wake up in the morning, you woke up, right? You're blessed to see another day. You gotta make the most of it and work towards your goal, right? Whether that's, posting a YouTube video or, writing a page of a novel or a screenplay, or writing a song, or, learning how to play the guitar, or learning how to use, Microsoft Excel, anything, right? Just like think about what you need to do that day to get a step closer to your ultimate goals, right? And that's going to help you because you're going to be so focused on yourself. You're not going to care about what other people have or what they're doing. You're going to be focused on doing what you can do so that eventually you'll have everything that you want, right? And you shouldn't just want things because other people have them, right? That's another key thing that I had to learn over time. Is like, when I came into some money here and there, like, growing up or whatever, or at work, like, I kind of got over that quickly where I was like, I need to have this because someone else has it, right? And frankly, I've never really been like that. I've had instances where, like, obviously, being a music producer and a guy that, follows a lot of rappers and musicians, like, I always was like, oh, I got to do this because he did it, right? And I quickly fell out of that where, like, even now, I'm just like, that's cool. Like, he's got a Lambo. I don't really care about that. I want to do this instead. I'm more worried about, like I said, getting a house, having financial stability, being able to do what I want, being able to not have to go and do a job that I don't really want to be at. I want to be able to do my own thing and build my own brand and have my own business, right? So I'm waking up every day thinking about how I can do that and contribute to that path, to those goals. So I think the other thing, man, is just like, you have to work on understanding that everybody's different. You shouldn't set out idolizing people, right? Even celebrities. Like, to this day, I still don't understand when people see celebrities and they start like crying or freaking out or just downright acting like they're not human, right? Because that's crazy to me. The reason why I'm a big fan of, certain rappers and musicians and YouTubers and content creators is because I really mess with what they're doing. I mess with the message that they're trying to do. I mess with the product that they're putting out. But at the end of the day, they're humans, right? So you can learn from them, but don't idolize other people, right? Like, I don't see the point in doing that, right? And especially if you get the chance to meet somebody, yeah, it might be, you could be a little starstruck here and there, but like, understand that they're people. Right? You could be in that same position. You just got to work towards it and do everything you got to do, right? Eat your Wheaties, stack up some paper and keep it pushing, bro. It's all you got to do, right? And money's not everything, so you got to remember that too. Just because someone has something that costs a lot of money doesn't mean that they're happy, doesn't mean that they're successful, doesn't mean any of that, right? Define what success means to you, right? And when you keep those definitions of success, kind of close to your chest, right? You're defining success, what success means to you as an individual. You're always going to be able to work a lot better towards that than you will at what someone else thinks is success. And frankly, why would you want to be, successful in someone else's eyes if you're not successful in your own eyes, right? You got to think about that. So that's really all I got, guys. Try to not focus on what other people have. Try to not compare yourself to other people. And that's going to really help you not feel so insecure all the time. I would also recommend maybe, if Instagram makes you feel a little insecure, stay off Instagram for a while. Stay off TikTok. Stay off social media. Really curate the content that you're digesting. And that'll help. I promise you. But you have to stay focused. You have to stay dedicated. It's not just a change that you can make in one day and everything's going to be better. Your brain and your mindset is a muscle. So just like when you go to the gym and you're trying to get yoked, trying to get yacked, you got to do the same thing for your brain. It's, day in, day out, figure out what you can do to really implement these new, settings to your mindset and move forward from there, bro. You just got to keep working. So I believe in you. I love you. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. And I'm going to catch you guys later, man. Stay up, stay blessed, stay safe, stay humble, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.